moment you were in.
What happened to you?
I'd spaced.
Space cadet. Space cadet. That's the second rank.
That's right. You started out as a cadet.
Mm-hmm. And you become a space cadet. I'm like, look, I upgraded to a space cadet.
I think I'm
You know what's funny? Death Marshal or something like that?
Death Marshal now, yeah, something like that.
Or Star Captain or...
No, I'm past that.
I'm Skull
Marshal.
Yeah. So I think yours is a Death Captain.
Yeah, there you go.
Something like that. Something like that. You know what's funny? Is jumping in games now. And, like, once you get to a certain point, like, there's a system you have. And anyone who plays the game understands the system, right? Okay. When you get in...
So did we record? Oh, we already are.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you get into...
So it got all of that strap on, heat of the moment. Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Hi, everybody.
I never meant to be so bad to you.
It's the heat of the moment.
It really was. Fuckers.
So there's like a method of how you attack a map and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Now, as like a higher rank, you get in and you play a match, and when things go completely fucking awry, and maybe this is just me, and and things like happen, and you get spawned in, and the people that are spawning you in for reinforcements chuck you right in the fucking middle of like everything that's going on, or one person will be like, they'll off do their own freelancing thing, and they'll call a resupply in for them, and the three of you are way in the fucking other end of the mix and everything's going on, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Or when they call in stratagems like orbital strikes and stuff, and everybody's right there, and all of a sudden, and 3 team kills right there, and at the end of the match, and I'm only saying this like this because this is a specific incident that's happened multiple times for me, and you look, and there's 1, 2, sometimes as many as 3 space cadets that are your teammates. Now I understand why they call a space cadet at an early rank. Because that's what you are when you first join. You're a fucking idiot because you have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, we were. So I sent the picture to Johnny Boy, but
what was I gonna send? What's that?
That is the Barrett.
Yeah.
That is the Barrett 50 cal rifle.
Which one is that?
I don't.
Is this a 50 BM?
It was the heat of the moment.
A10. 82. Oh yeah, looks like the 82A.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the bigger one. This is what I figured by your description. Like the long one sounds like the Barrett M82.
Yeah.
But the M105.
82A1.
Yeah, the M105. It's bulky, but it's shorter. Like they're still huge.
Well, that's the barrel not attached. That's the barrel. That thing is fucking long.
Which is like what? I think those guns are like 58 inches or 52 inches. That's
the old man.
Yeah.
So,
like that's a long. The Serbu BFG 50. That one
put it to you this way.
48 inch.
Okay. So, there's the rifle.
Yeah.
There's the scope. There's the barrel because there's the scope attached to it.
I mean, part of that's going to be in the gun, and recesses.
But 58 inches long.
Yeah.
I'm 69 inches. Wait, I'm 5'9". Yeah, 69 inches.
You wish.
I am too. Fuck you. 69 inches tall.
He's got a big fucking head, figuratively
do.
Literally.
I really do. I hate my head.
Anyway, go ahead.
Fucking 58 inches long. This gun is only 11 inches shorter than me. Now, I know you guys won't be able to see it on camera, but that means that gun...
You know what's funny is you're still in...
Yeah, I still have... That gun comes to about my nose.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is... And it weighs like upwards of 20 pounds.
Yeah, it's not one that you go on a long hike with. Are you going to go hunting with it?
Oh, God, no.
You can't. It's not going to do... Like, no.
What am I hunting? A mile away?
No, here's the thing: is everyone thinks like, oh, you're gonna shoot like the 7-inch or 5.5-inch bullet out of it. It's gonna obliterate a deer. No, it won't. It will not. It will not. Because I used to think the exact same thing, but there are a lot of people that hunt with that gun.
Very long range, yes.
They can, not even super long. I mean, they're not 100 yards away, clearly. But there are people, you look it up, there are people that hunt with that gun, or 50 BMG in general, and they take deer down.
Probably.
Here's one thing: is
1,000 yards, maybe.
There was a rumor that was going around. It's like, oh, there was a video that was online of a shot that was made with a 50 cal, 50 BMG, and you see this deer standing, and then all of a sudden you see,
and it's missed. Yeah, I've seen that.
No, not missed. The eyes just go on it, and everyone's like, oh, he just missed the shot, and that was the force of the bullet going by, which blew the eyes out of the deer. So everyone was like, oh my God, 50 BMG, that's crazy. Well, they disproved what that was. So they made a house of cards, and they shot a 50 BMG right through it, right next to it. Didn't do anything to the house of cards. So right off the bat, it's like, well, that's not true then. Because if it's not going to blow a house of cards down. Then they talked to the guy that made the shot. He's like, no, actually what happened is I made the shot, thought I missed it. It was not where I was aiming. And the bullet, one of those rare crazy ass incidences, went right through one eye, out the other. So,
depending on the rifling, the rifling of the barrel, and the grain load.
Yes, well, you're not gonna have a hot load on a fucking boom.
The max grain load out of a 50 cal 50 cal bullet, the 5.5-inch bullet, it's actually almost like 6 inches, 7 almost.
Right. Well, yeah.
Is 750 grains.
Right.
A 30-06.
Yeah, I know.
Which is a 1,000-yard rifle. Usually runs about 150 to 180 grain.
I think my 45.
That's like 30-06 bullets worth of grain. You realize?
My
5, whatever.
45-70 is like 175. I mean, it's got kick, but
so
not a 50 cal kick. Clearly, but
depending on the load you put into the bullet and how far you're shooting, absolutely can you hunt with that. It's very expensive to reload that bullet, though.
Yeah, that's not a plunker weapon.
No.
I wish it was. But
at full grain with the right rifling. So the way the 50 cal, especially that rifle, that's an anti-tank gun right there. That is supposed to pierce
it's armor penetrating, yeah.
Yes. It's meant to pierce a tank.
So name every fucking deer tank and be done with it.
So the way that gun works at close range.
Load it, pull the trigger, and watch it go.
The reason why people think it obliterates things, it will, yes, depending on the right circumstances and the right conditions. But like I said, depending on the grain load, the barrel rifling, and all that stuff, the right wind, all that shit. The force of a full perfect shot, maxed out everything. What you're seeing is actually the wind displacement at first. When you shoot at, let's say, 100 yards, the reason why it looks like it goes woof is because the bullet is traveling so fast and spinning so sharp that it's actually like the air displacement ahead of it is what's really hitting first. And it pushes out. Once it gets to a certain distance,
you're talking about when it hits, actually, like when it hits its target, right?
Yes. At first, the bullet's not hitting it; it's the wind, it's the air displacement, because it's pushing the air in front of it so fast it doesn't have enough time to move. It goes,
it heats up and cauterizes it.
Exactly, and that's the poof you're seeing. Then when the bullet actually hits, hopefully by that point you're dead or it's dead. Because when that hits, it's like taking a 12-inch.
We don't condone shooting anybody.
It's like taking a 12-inch round dildo in your butt.
Huh. Well, for people that haven't had those kind of jobs, anyway. So like I don't.
Yeah,
we all whatever.
We both worked at Keymark.
Yeah,
can't wait till I go to gym. My first
Keymark was the beginning of it, and then we all went on to our own jobs, and it just seemed to continue. It's almost like it was one entity just owning every business.
Yeah.
And it just kept going and going and
And
going.
now you're happy doing what you do. I'm happy doing what I do.
I don't. Sometimes you.
I love driving. No, shut up. Shut up. Not you. You, I meant. Shut up. I love driving. I love the job. The customers are fucking awesome.
Right.
It's just sometimes the politics of the business.
I mean, that happens.
It's everywhere you go. It doesn't matter whether you have the best job in the world or the worst job in the world. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes anomalies come out of nowhere. And you're like, fuck this. Why am I still doing it?
Shit happens. Someone's got to deal with it. And who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters 2.
4, technically.
Well, that line's from 2. I haven't seen 5, technically.
I haven't watched the girl one either.
I own it.
You still haven't watched it?
Oh, I watched it.
Oh, okay.
I own it because it was like $5. And I'm like, fuck, I have all the other ones. I might as well just fucking own this trash heap. So I got it.
It wasn't any good.
It's a fine generic comedy if you take the Ghostbusters out of it. But you could tell it was a cash grab throwing Ghostbusters in there. They just wrote a generic comedy that belittled men because, why the fuck not?
But if we write a joke movie that belittles women, we're going to hell.
I mean, I didn't really give a shit because it's supposed to be a comedy. I expect pushing boundary comedy. I want that. I don't want bullshit where it's, woke comedy, we'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I don't want that. So I'm like, okay,
Sorry.
fine. Fine, whatever. Because woke comedy is fucking garbage. It's just objectively it is. It's bad. Anyway, it was a fine generic comedy. Like, it would have been better in like 2006 instead of 2016.
Okay.
But then you could tell it was like they wrote the movie and then it's like, well, fuck, let's make it a Ghostbusters movie. And they just kind of like sprinkled Ghostbusters in it. And then it is what it is. And then, of course, and I would have been fine with that. I'm like, all right, whatever. It's forgettable. But it's not like a train wreck. But then the marketing, and that wasn't the marketing. It was after the fact when some of the actors, and the director said, well, the reason people don't like the movie is because they're chauvinistic and they're sexist and like a fucking course. Here we go. As soon as they started doing that, I'm like, fuck you and your movie. Like, if he just left it alone, be like, whatever. It was a fine movie. It was not like a classic comedy or anything. It was just a fine movie. It just has some Ghostbuster stuff. If anything, it was just cool seeing like the proton pack streams again. Like, I think that was the best part of the movie, to see the proton pack streams. You could have gotten rid of everything else. Just had like, let's just have some screenshots and some angles of people shooting proton packs. And we were like, this is a fucking good movie.
We could have done that.
Yeah. But then they're like, well, it's because you're an asshole. Same thing with Star Wars and everything else. It's because the fans are assholes. They're already saying that about The Acolyte. That trailer that I still haven't watched the whole thing. The new Star Wars movie trailer, The Acolyte, which has nothing to do with any Skywalker thing, which that's fine. I'd rather that. Like, get away from the Skywalker bullshit. But this is like right off the bat, people just hated it. Like the ratio on YouTube, I think the like to dislike ratio, it was like 170 some thousand likes to like, I don't know, somebody fact check this. It was like 400,000 or 500,000 dislikes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was like people are just like, no. I think it's gotten to the point now where people in general are just no. Like Disney is now coming to the point where like, we got this, and people are just no. Whatever it is, no. We're done. And I know I'm at that point. Like, I'm just like, no, because I know what you're going to do. No. Stop.
No, God. No, please, no. No.
Yeah. So I think I told you, I finally sold all my stock, my long-term stock, and I traded that in and divvied that up in a couple other stocks and whatnot. One of them was Truth Social's Trump thing. I was like,
JT.
Yeah, I was like, well, fuck. And that took off real quick. I was like, fuck, I'll invest in that. Which that's probably a garbage stock, just like a pump and dump. But I was like, okay. That's what they call it in stock markets. All right, don't fucking get your panties in a bunch.
Did a lot of that in college. Did you? Huh, gotta go.
Look at the time.
So yeah, about getting breakfast tomorrow. I just remembered I got this thing. Boop. No, so I can't believe we just did that. Yeah, so about getting lunch tomorrow. I just remembered I got this thing, but you know, you have my email and I have yours, and you know, talk to you later. Boop.
Belly button.
Belly button.
Yeah, so I got rid of that. But anyway, going back to Disney, and everyone, I think, it's just gotten to that point. So the Acolyte trailer drops, and everyone's like, no. and that's where that is. Well, anyway, getting on to the regular shit.
Well, actually, I got something serious to talk about.
Oh, go ahead.
I forgot to tell you. I wanted to tell you at the party earlier, but I was probably not the best place to talk about it. I was actually talking to a coworker last week. He was talking to me. I
wasn't really listening.
No, I was listening. I just didn't really. It was kind of hard to gauge how to respond. You know, he was talking about suicide and asked me what I thought.
Why do I feel like this is going to take some weird fucking turn?
I didn't answer. I just left him hanging.
I fucking knew. It's almost like I know.
Oh, sorry, Jason. There you go. Even he turned his back on me on that one. Wow, you're terrible. Fuck this. Can't kill myself.
He's already dead.
No, it's not. There's like 13 of his movies.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of already dead. Yeah.
What the hell just happened?
What the hell? This is what I was talking about. Okay. A homeless guy eating a human leg.
Oh, yeah.
All right, this is a video I found on TikTok of this fucking guy just gnawing on a human leg. Homeless guy. It's fucking wild. Do you remember 12 years ago?
Bath salts, the guy eating the guy's face?
Yeah. It's the first thing that popped in my head when I saw this. I'm like, jeez, we're going back down this road.
Zombies.
So we're going to have...
I feel bad.
Is that on your bingo card?
I feel bad for the guy.
Which one?
The person who
the guy that's fucking my leg. Where'd it go?
The person who died in the car crash. I bet you it was a girl.
I don't know, but
her name was probably Eileen. Could have been her sister Peg.
Boy, he's just on fire tonight.
Stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Come on, Eileen. Oh, I swear what I mean in this moment. You mean everything. Oh, okay. Guy eating a leg. Whatever.
Yeah, so
Shit happens.
That was just one of those. Boy, what a start to a day.
I know.
That was just one of those side things I see over the week. I'm like, what the fuck?
How hungry? Like, oof.
Man, that guy's
seriously hungry or seriously doped up to do something like that.
That guy's off his fucking rocker.
Rocker?
Yeah.
That shit.
He's a homeless man.
When the bow breaks, the cradle will fall. He fell right on his head.
That's Sloth. Sloth is fucking eating legs now, man. Times are tough. Hollywood, times are tough.
How's it go? Cradle, fall.
Fall, break.
How many times once?
Maybe twice. Yeah, and now look at him. He's eating fucking legs. And what was that, California?
Yeah. Wow. Are you surprised?
I'm assuming California.
It probably was.
I don't know. Anyway.
They won't let me eat fucking meat in this state. I'll take what I can get. They even took pepperoni off the pizza. There's fucking pineapple now. Which actually isn't bad. I don't fucking care what anybody says.
I haven't ever tried it. But
pineapple on pizza? Pineapple and ham on pizza is fucking good, dude.
Yeah, I haven't ever tried it.
Sweet and salty.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
That's it.
That's it? That one's a softball right to your fucking self. That's like chucking a softball in the air and be like, I got this with a bat.
As long as
it
they don't put the crust.
Okay. At least there's something that comes out of that. God.
Pineapple on off? Uh-huh. Ooh, sweet and salty. Who the fuck are you? How the fuck did you get by crack? Not out of the woods yet. They're genius. You need to ease up on the bad dazzling. They're jeans, not a chandelier. Deadpool, hell yeah.
Okay. So, to the actual serious stuff. Not people eating legs and whatnot. From Politico. And I mentioned this up earlier today.
Yeah, okay.
Sunday marks both Easter and the Transgender Day of Visibility. Cue the culture war. So, as soon as I heard this, I was like, I almost feel as though this is the progressive left's immediate just spit in the face of the religious right.
I don't know if it's so much as a spit in the face as it seems it comes across more to me like, because let's be honest, the church accepting homosexuality.
That's another one too.
That when that went down, that was, if you ask me, that was the LGBTQ community's way of going right in the face of God.
Yeah, that was a start. I think that was...
So now, I think it's more like the whole women's rights movement. You know, people will sit there and like the girls will sit there and say, well, I'm a feminist and I'm all for women's rights. What can you do that I can't? Well, you're a man, so you can ask me that question. Wait, what? We're here for a movement and there's meaning to it. What's the meaning? You can't ask us that. That's sexist.
Well, now, yeah.
That's what that is, if you ask me. That's all. That's literally, you've gotten everything you've wanted, and then some. Now it's almost like gloating. That's what it is. It's gloating.
Yeah, I think it's all right. So you remember in the one of the many times the Roman Catholic Church had their in a great schism.
Yeah.
In Russia, I think that's what that is for Western culture, or Western religion, more specifically. Is when homosexuality was okayed by the church. That was one of those pivotal points in religious history where there's two sides. It was like, one side went, yeah, we should allow everyone. The other side went, no. That was one of those.
A fucking itch on the inside of my ear.
Oh. I got nothing.
It's all right. No, it's cool.
I think that was one of those moments. So then he gets now.
Yeah, it's my earring. Sorry. I have gauges. If you know, you know. For the small fan base that we do have, if there's any of you that have gauges in your ears, you know what I mean.
Probably not. The average age of the viewer is not that.
It smells like feet. Not bad feet. It just smells like feet.
Okay.
Don't judge me.
Okay. So, yeah, I think that this is one of those schism moments for Western religion. That was homosexuality being accepted in Christianity or the Christian church.
Yeah, that they were gonna you could still go to heaven as long as you live a life in God, but whatever.
Yeah, and this is just kind of an additive to that. Like, President Joe Biden on Friday issued a proclamation recognizing March 31st as Transgender Day of Visibility, just as he has commemorated the day. Commemorated the day every year since he has been in office. As Easter Sunday falls on March 31st this year, conservatives responded furiously, accusing the president, who is Catholic, evidently, of attempting to stifle Christian values by highlighting the event during an important religious holiday. The controversy, which has galvanized conservatives and which transgender advocates say is manufactured, is the latest in a series of social conflicts that has enveloped the political process and current electoral cycle. House leadership voiced their outrage, as did the Trump campaign, demanding an apology from the White House. The White House pushed back, saying that as a Christian who celebrates Easter with family, President Biden stands for bringing people together and upholding dignity and freedoms of every American. It's one problem when you have ideals that are kind of broad.
Uh-huh.
Anyone can pull in whatever view they have and kind of alter it to fit the ideal.
To the narrative, yep.
Yeah, and so they can use whatever they believe, even if it isn't what is widely accepted, for that idea, and toward it so it fits, and then be like, well, this is what you believe. If you believe about, if you believe in, like, this is upholding dignity and freedoms of every American, like, this, America was founded on Christian values, and then kind of ride those coattails pushing some other side agenda, which is kind of just a double-edged sword, I guess, for lack of a better term.
I would love for someone to be able to sit down with the president and say, hey, do you remember when you said this? And actually bring up the racist shit he said?
Oh, my God. He's an empty husk. Like, you watch him, like, and especially in seriously, though, especially in the last, like, 6 months, when he just had this, I don't know, it was some event he was speaking at, and he was getting heckled hardcore by the people in the audience. And the camera's just obviously watching Biden, and his face, he has this weird smirk, like that regular Joe Biden smirk on his face, where he's got this 1,000-yard stare. Like, he's there, but he is not there. And he's like looking around, kind of looking in one direction for a while, then kind of looks off past everyone. And then when he finally comes to, he's kind of like floats away off stage. But it's not even like I'm purposely ignoring you. It's like, man, my brain's just taking a hike for a second. It'll be back.
He's checking out.
Yeah. And it's
everything that guy does publicly now, if you can't keep him talking, if you give him a moment to pause, there's a lapse.
It's not even giving him a moment. We've gotten to the point now where his brain just takes a moment when it needs to. It's like working that one person that's like, okay, we got a 15-minute break in 20 minutes. And you see him walk out right then to go for a cigarette break. It's like, no, I'm taking mine now. That's where his mind is at right now. He's like in the middle of a fucking like press conference, and he'll just go. I mean, he's done. How many times have you watched him talk? And he'll be in the middle of a sentence, and he'll stop and go, anyway. Like he just stops his fucking thought, and like, and it's not even a joke. It fucking happens way more often than it should, and it's funny, like ragging on him, like what we do, but as the leader of the free world, it's not funny. It's sad.
And yet here we are laughing.
But is it not? I mean, really, it's fucking sad. But he does it so many times. But that was when he's more on point, sadly. Like, in instances like this one I'm talking about, he just fucking, he's just gone. And you can watch it as, like, he's in his eyes, like, he's there, and all of a sudden he's like, and he's just looking through fucking, it's like, yeah. Like, I really think...
Sorry, but your system has crashed.
He's fucking like Control Alt Delete all the time. Task manager. Fuck. It's like his handlers bring up Task Manager so often. There's like 6 Task Manager tabs open, and that crashes.
Because you know you can open up more than one, and if you open up too many, the system will crash.
You can. But that's where he's... That's...
Speaking of crashing a system, do you remember... back on the day when you actually had to be prompted to turn off the computer, it is now okay for you to shut off your computer. You'd hit the button and it would shut off.
Yeah.
Yeah, nowadays it's not like
that. It was like the, early 2000s? No, that was like the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. Like 98.
Yeah, and you would be fucking scared shitless to lose everything if you did it wrong, or fucking it would corrupt all your files. Back then when you had floppy disk.
Well,
actually, they weren't even floppy. They were just
the 3.5 inch. Yeah, the hard. Yes,
the hard disk. But the floppy disks were before that.
7.5 inch floppy disk, which was literally, it was about this big, guys. Oregon Trail.
That was Apple Macintosh.
And heaven fucking forbid you were in a rush. You get to class like, oh, okay, pull it out, crunch. Oh, you put it in at a slight angle, and the thing goes.
Damn it, and it would break apart like old paint on a wall.
Yup. Because of the film inside.
Yeah.
So good.
So good. Yeah. So,
Back
anyway.
when things were simple.
Back to...
When 8-bit pointy boobs were hot.
It seriously was. So, yeah, we're doing Transgender Day tomorrow as long with Easter. Hochul is, she's making it so all state... landmarks are going to be illuminated with the trans flag colors all over. Yeah. You know, because why not? She was fucking...
She probably needs to get dick. I bet you if she got laid...
She's 65, dude. Or 4 or something.
A woman don't have needs?
Dude. Someone needs to draw the short straw. And there's no better candidate than Mr. Joke Man right the fuck over here. Why? Because who's the one that's going to have the best story to come along with it?
Oh, fuck damn. God damn it. Fuck shit. Whatever. Fine.
I've had enough stories, and I've shared most of them. I've probably shared them at one point or another all on the fucking show, too. Someone else needs to come with some fucking stupid-ass those stories.
Like the AJR song, 100 bad days made 100 good stories. 100 good stories makes me interesting at parties.
Yeah, see? That's where,
fine.
Here's the dark side of that.
But I'm dead inside. Every story coming from me is a good story. Okay. Why do I have to add more?
If you're dead inside, then you're not going to feel anything from it. So, here's the shitty part about that whole whatever line you just said.
What? Oh, yeah.
It takes many years to have a lot of those stories, and by the time you reach enough of those stories to be fun at parties, you don't want to fucking party anymore.
Fuck no.
So now you only have all these stories built up, and no one to tell them to, and that's sad.
Nobody to tell them to.
Well, we'll never see most of them.
This is true.
This is all free entertainment for you people. What do you mean, you people?
It's because I'm white, isn't it? No. You're a woman and you don't have the right to vote.
You don't have the right to be sad.
So fuck you. Speaking of suffering, I almost said suffrage again. I hate those words.
Go ahead, suffering.
No, I got to suffer through sleeping with Hochul.
Oh, okay. Well, here's some suffering. From Fox News, Governor Kathy Hochul leaves NYPD officer Jonathan Diller's wake abruptly after 10 minutes. Bystanders clap. This is the one where she got fucking heckled when she was there.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the officer that got murdered by, I don't think it was an illegal. It was just someone with 21 arrests prior. Hey, get down there. What is happening?
He's talking about his penis.
It's going to deny me. Anyway, so she shows up at this funeral. First off, the police officer. I'm not even going to try to fucking remember. I quit.
Oh.
I'll find it.
That'll be a very entertaining show.
There it is. Okay, so Governor Hochul confronted by mourner at NYPD. Okay. Governor Kathy Hochul was filmed being confronted by an emotional mourner on her way out of a short visit to the wake for slain NYPD hero Jonathan Diller Friday afternoon, with bystanders applauding as she made her exit. The unidentified man dressed in a black suit gestured firmly and was visibly agitated as he spoke to the Democratic lawmaker, according to footage of the incident. The tense clash received support from a group of onlookers gathered outside the venue who clapped as the mourner, as the blank-faced governor shuffled back to her car. And there's a bunch of pictures of it. Hochul, who had asked the NYPD police, Benevolent Association and the Nassau County Police Benevolent, ahead of the time about attending, arrived at a funeral home in Long Island the second day of the viewing around 1:45 p.m. While in the emotional event, Hochul had an animated conversation with Diller's 29-year-old widow, Stephanie, one witness told the Post. Quote, "It looked like she was yelling to Hochul off. They said in the tense exchange, it didn't look like the widow had any kind words to say. Hochul left immediately after that, and the individual claimed. Another source, however, said that they saw the governor having a short, respectful conversation with the devastated family. I watched the video. It didn't look like it was a short, respectful conversation. Like, both of them were very animated. Unless they fucking go up there and they're talking like this, and that's respectful.
I'd love to see this video. I got you.
I don't think it's... She greeted the family members and then walked out, they told the Post, noting that she was inside for 10 to 15 minutes. It was a brief, respectful visit. She was not asked to leave, the source added of the incident outside. It was initially believed that the governor was asked to leave in a telling reflection of the leader's frosty reception. Sources said Hochul's discussed policy with the grieving family. Progressive policies such as bail reform have been blamed for Diller's tragic death. Hochul's brief stop came one day after former President Donald Trump paid his respects to the first day of viewings. What
was the officer's name?
Jonathan Diller. Where he stayed for around 40 minutes. That was the same day where Trump went to the wake, the first day for this officer. Mm-hmm. And it was all over media where while Trump was there at the viewing or the wake, was it Bush, Biden, and Obama were at a fundraising event for the campaign, and while they were also in the same state, they were also here. I was like, okay, so we have one presidential candidate who's going out to raise money, and the other one is paying their respects to a fallen officer.
Yeah.
Character. But this is the guy that
Dillard. Dillarda or Diller?
Diller. So, what to know about the fatal shooting of NYPD officer Jonathan Diller? Diller, 31, was shot and killed during a routine traffic stop in Far Rockaway County, Queens, on March 25th, 2024. Suspect, Guy Rivera, opened fire on Diller on Monday evening after the cop approached the vehicle Rivera was in for parking in front of a bus stop. Diller was shot once in the stomach below his bulletproof vest. The married father of a 1-year-old boy was rushed to the Jamaica hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. Rivera was wounded when Diller's partner returned fire. The suspect has 21 prior arrests and was found to have shivs stored in his rectum, of course, during the shooting. An apparent anticipation of being sent to jail. Lindy Jones, the ex-con behind the wheel of the car during the shooting, was also arrested after a second gun was found in his car. Mayor Eric Adams has renewed his calls for Albany to address criminal recidivism following the shooting involving 2 suspects with lengthy criminal records. That's part of the whole, again, what we talked about last week, bail reform.
Yeah.
Going along with, what's-her-face, the Young Turks, having the explosion, and about the fucking slain couple there, the older couple found in that having to do with bail reform. When these people are just allowed to walk about. Not that in any time soon we're going to solve that issue, but...
God, no. Yeah, I couldn't find the video where she gets yelled at.
It might be right on the post. Is this it? I think this is it right here. That's a video. I think that's a video of the guy.
Oh, I saw that. That doesn't look very bad.
That's a video of the guy.
Oh, that's his hand talking. Looks like he's pointing. Okay. Then he just walks away. Okay. Now that makes sense.
I don't know. I want to know if there's... Nope. Nope. That's the paid advertisement. We don't need that. We don't want paid advertisements on this show.
Yeah. Fuck those shits.
But so once again, yeah, Hochul in the news. This time. And even so, like, let's just get, like, never mind the whole whether she was ushered off or not. The fact that she stopped for just 10 minutes, like, to me, that just screams just a PR move.
Yeah.
Like, you just show up, like, I'll just do it just for the look. And really another one where Trump shows up the first day, stays for 40 minutes, okay? I'm assuming he's a little busier than Kathy Hochul. Maybe not, but maybe. And then the next day, a Democratic anybody shows up.
Yeah.
Didn't the same thing happen? What happened? Where was it? The Florida fucking hurricane or storms or some shit? Where oh no, it was Ohio. The train derailed.
Yeah.
When Trump showed up and handed out fucking cheeseburgers to fucking everybody from McDonald's.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I don't even remember what fucking Democratic candidate.
It wasn't Biden.
No, it wasn't Biden. It was from, I don't know if it was, I can't remember who it was. They showed up the next day just to be like, fuck, now I gotta go. It was almost just a response to Trump. It wasn't even about the fucking train wreck. But that's what this kind of feels too. Trump shows up the day before, stays, leaves, and the next day Kathy's like, oh, it's in my fucking state. I gotta go to these fucktards.
Well, regardless of whether it's a PR move or not, regardless of whether it's a PR move or not, the fact that whether you're Republican or Democratic, somebody showed up does speak volumes. Mm-hmm. But here's the only thing I can say. Judging by what you showed me, what I saw, nobody walked up to Trump and said, hey, you need to leave.
Right.
somebody walked up to Hochul and said, hey, you really ought to not be there.
Well,
that speaks more volumes than whether you're there for 10 minutes or an hour, whether you're there whether you're there first or you're there the next day. The fact that Trump wasn't asked to leave.
I agree, and like I said, I agree, but my point was, if like none of that happened, if both of them just showed up with no one saying anything, just the fact that she showed up, was there for a couple minutes, and just fucking split. That just seems like, okay, I did my 10 minutes.
Yeah, you got to pay more. Yeah, I'll give you that too.
Yeah, because it was someone who had 21 prior arrests. And again, that's the whole bail reform thing.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think it was let me just dip in, dip out. I really don't feel like doing this, but I have to because Trump did it. Do you think it was that? Or do you think it was on the way there, she was probably, hey, we should probably be there for a while. Trump was there for like 40, 45 minutes the first day. We should probably be there for like an hour. And somebody actually stopped her and said, wait a minute, hold up a second. You do realize that you kind of caused this. You might not want to hang out there for too long. It's probably not in the best interest. Just be there for long enough to say that you were there, and then we'll get out before anybody confronts you about your policies, your bail reform, whether you do support this, whether you're up against that. What's your take on this? We don't want this to be a political fiasco. We want to just go there, show that you paid your respects, and leave. No,
because I think they're out of touch. Like, how many times have we watched videos of AOC and Biden and Kamala Harris, especially in the last year?
KGB.
How many times we watch videos of them go to whatever event they're at and just inevitably get heckled hard, especially when they're in places where they know they're going to have supporters of the opposing party there, and they just go anyway. Like, I don't think anyone is saying, like, no, you have to go there. Because, again, and this goes for either political side, any political side, if you actively say we shouldn't go there because the other party's there, you are now telling, one, your opposing party and your base that you are afraid to engage the other side. Oh, yeah. I don't think they're going to do that. I think both sides are very keen. I'm like, no, we can't do that. Like, we have to just, if there's going to be hecklers, there's going to be hecklers. You have to deal with it. You want to be the leader of the free world, and you can't handle fucking people going, you're an asshole, then you do not need to be in this position. Like, as if these people scare me. But then again, I mean, Biden never fucking barely spoke at all in 2020 during that whole election cycle. He was barely out, and he won.
Yeah, he just made random comments.
Yeah, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. If you can't figure out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. Naturally. Wait, so... no,
wait. So if I... Knowing... Okay, so you're telling me...
I think he's going to say what I was just thinking, but go ahead.
He made the comment, if you can't figure out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. Mm-hmm. So if that meant... So if I support Biden in 2024 and I vote for him, by his logic, and since he's the president, his law, I'm black.
What's up, man? So you're going to vote for
Trump?
Well, actually, by his logic, if you can't figure out whether you're for Trump or for me, so by that logic, if I can figure out whether I'm for Trump or for him, I am black. So either one I vote for, if I already know before election day.
Thank God.
So
I thought I was having to do something bad.
So the minority group has just become the majority.
A 500-pound white chick just for a green card.
Buy
that cell phone.
No, you'll get all that for free. I did tell you earlier today. We had the illegal arrested up in Perth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're here now. They're here. Which we already knew they were. We already knew they were here. So.
Wait, how do they say that? The twins in The Shining? Come play with us.
Was that it?
Something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, they were weird. I don't know. Moving on.
Come play with us. You know who's of? You know who'd love to fucking hear that?
Who?
P. Diddler Diddley.
P. Diddler or Diddley?
Diddley.
Oh, wait.
Diddy Combs.
Hold on.
All right. What do you
I
got?
gotta find it.
Jeez. Didn't South Park do something with that? Did he do it? Did he didn't do it? Yeah. It's like 30.
Looks like he always had to poop.
I love Macho Man.
He was good. He was great. Hold on, I gotta show you something. Settings and privacy, account, activity center, watch history. Let me find it.
All right.
God,
I don't even know what you're looking for right now. I couldn't. What did I just say? Where
he did or Diddley?
Yeah, the Diddler.
Diddler. Oh, here it is.
The Diddler. There she was, just walking down the street, singing. Do cry. Do I? Okay, so.
Do I diddy dum diddy do.
So the do I diddy dum diddy do. Okay, so it's all picture related. So the do I diddy, the first line is a Mountain Dew, a crying emoji, wah.
Wah, do,
Diddy.
wah, diddy.
The Diddler. Diddy Dum, it's the Diddler again. And then Joe Biden.
Diddy dum.
Diddy Do is the Diddler and a Mountain Dew again. So,
I wanted to send that to you, but
with that in mind, from the Daily Mail, inside Sean Diddley Combs' $440 million LA home with 8 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, and an underwater tunnel. It's a fucking
if you could swim through this,
underwater
you won't be trafficked. She starts swimming. Close the gates. King, king. She comes up bubbling. She's getting trafficked. She's dead.
She can't say no. As property is raided by Homeland Security as part of a sex trafficking probe. From what I gather, he is the next
Epstein.
And immediately when he was probed, or his house was, he got the fuck out of the United States. I'm not guilty. Bye.
So where is he? Is he in custody?
Well, let's see. Much like every other home in the upscale LA neighborhood by Holby Hills, extravagance and extreme wealth conforms it to the surrounding area, but the $40 million mansion owned by rapper, producer, and entrepreneur Sean Diddy Combs is currently the focus of rather more than an episode of MTV Cribs. On Monday, they ever go to his house at MTV Cribs, he's like, hi, the Bankies. There's some shit that's come out on him. On Monday, federal Homeland Security investigation.
Look at Chappelle's show.
Yeah, that's pure Cambodian.
Clink, clink, breast milk.
Yeah. On Monday, federal Homeland Security investigations agent and other law enforcement descended on the property as part of an ongoing sex trafficking investigation. Combs, 54, who is facing mounting sexual harassment and rape lawsuits, was nowhere to be seen as agents combed through his homes in L.A. and Miami, removing boxes and bags of evidence. Fans may well have already seen the property's vast interiors and exteriors, with the father of 7 previously sharing regular Instagram posts of the Holby Hills residence he bought in 2014. There was a video going around where he adopted some white girl. You see this? He adopted some white girl and he made some, I don't know, if an Instagram post or some fucking social media post or something, where he's like, hey, I adopted a white girl. What's your name? And she said her name. It's like, no, what's your real name? It's like, Combs. Like, no, what's your other real name? And she said it's like his last name with his name. It was a fucking weird thing. And she wasn't like 8. She was like 17. 18. Yeah, somewhere around there. It's fucking weird.
Hold on.
And again, we're talking about the sex trafficking thing here. It doesn't necessarily mean like the Sound of Freedom sex trafficking that we watch where people are actually in and out. This could be like Vince McMahon sex trafficking. And I think that's what this is. Blackmail more. It's like, listen, we have this on you. You do this for me. I'll pay you this service. And now I'm going to pass you off to my boys. Like, that's, I think, what the kind of sex trafficking this is. Which is really what the Epstein thing actually... Oh, is this it?
Introduce yourself. My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio. No. What's your last name?
Yeah.
What's your other last name? Ava Combs? Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents that ensure my child also lives.
And like, what's fucking? I mean, what's really bizarre about that is, how old would you say she was?
Just 16, 17.
You're right. What's really bizarre about this is he's doing it like it's just online social media clout. Like, look what I did. I got myself a white girl, and I'm not even. It's just fucking bizarre, is it not? Like,
you know what that video reminded me of?
What?
Hold on, let me bring it back up.
Did he add the sound effects to it? Was that in the original? Which just further adds, and like, what the fuck?
Hold on.
It's so weird.
Okay. You can't see a lot of the people in the background, but hold on.
All right.
Let's see if we can find this.
Is this the same video you're talking about, or?
That's the video. There's a picture. I just screenshotted it. Give me a second.
All right. Let's see. I know Diddy's back in the States since this all went down. So Diddy's houses were raided by law enforcement. What does this mean for the music? All
right, yep. I see that it's very similar photo. Check this out, dude.
Right.
So, this is the picture of the video.
Okay.
Now, you can't, I screenshotted it, so you can't see it, but there's a bunch of people walking back and forth around. So
send that to me.
I will. Hold on. But tell me these pictures don't look the same. Tell me.
I see some resemblance between the two of them. Now, maybe one has one or two more people, but
you can't see the other people walking around in the screenshot I took because I can't.
That's true, and I don't know who's filming the first one, so there's probably 4 or 5 people behind the camera. One on sound, one's the fluffer, and one is actually holding the camera. So it could very well, it might even be the same fucking day.
There you go.
Might even be the same thing.
I sent you that picture.
Send them both so the people at home can know exactly what we're talking about, which you've already seen it by this point. And just so you know again. Holy shit.
There you go. You got them both. I really hope you...
All right, so
weird.
So Los Angeles, okay. Not much is known about the Homeland Security Investigations agents or what they were looking for as they searched his LA and Miami homes Monday, and whether Combs, who has not been arrested, might be charged with any crimes. Combs' lawyer, Aaron Dyer, maintains that his client's innocence and criticized what he called a witch hunt.
An excessive force. I heard that part.
Yeah. Meritless accusations in a statement on Tuesday. The only available context so far is that the fact that the Bad Boy Records founder is facing multiple civil lawsuits filed in recent months that claim the music mogul raped and sexually assaulted several alleged victims over the past few decades. Combs has denied all accusations against him. Even if he's found guilty, nothing will be fucking done. Because nothing's ever fucking done with these people. At all. Way too much money, way too much power, too much influence. And like we've said before, that business is a massive fucking business, especially for America, evidently. That's great.
He'll go quiet for a while, but that's about it.
He'll have to do community service for 20 hours. Go pick up that can. We'll call it good for, I'll put you down for 18 hours. And I say that kind of hyperbolic, but that's what fucking happens. Like, it's with like community service things, and it doesn't even have to be like that kind of thing for community service. It could be like, did you do an autograph signing at this?
Yep.
Anything, and we'll put you down for your 20 hours, and you could just go for 30 minutes. Like, literally, that kind of shit has happened.
Oh, yeah.
and they'll be like, all right, you did your time. Or what'll happen, we'll go through the whole trial, and this is just an example of what happened with that Drake Bell is his name?
Oh, yeah.
With the trial that happened that we brought up last week. It's like, we'll say time served. Now, that judgment wasn't the judgment for the defendant, whatever his name was. I can't remember, Dan something or other, whatever.
Snyder.
Yeah. That wasn't, but a lot of the people that were writing letters, hey, in support of Snyder, they were all writing in and be like, I think the summary judgment, or not summary judgment, the judgment should be like, he already served his time because there was a lot of stress he went through with this, and there's a lot of accusations, and what the fuck was Drake Bell wearing to make him, like that literally happened. That was literally some of the letters. It's fucking, go watch the Nickelodeon thing. It's fucking wild. Like I cannot wait for Disney's version of this so I can go, I told you fuckers. I told you Disney's a fucking evil piece of shit company.
They really made their child actors snort the ashes of Walt Disney? That's weird.
But, I mean...
And then they drank their adrenochrome?
But, the business is way too fucking big. They'll have, the producers from a show falling, that's one thing. But, Sean Combs is not gonna fucking... It ain't gonna happen. Look at Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell. She's doing 20 years. Fine. But she was a secondary person in the whole thing. Epstein's already dead. And there's no fucking list yet. And they'll never be a list. Because you don't want to see people like Tom Hanks go down. You don't want to see people like Oprah Winfrey go down. You don't want to see any of that shit. I mean, I do. Not because I want to see these people fall. I want to see who the fuck is okay, so is it all of Hollywood? Are the crazy ones like Cat Williams and all them? Are they the ones that are actually saying, everyone's like, oh, Cat Williams has gone off his rocker. He's saying all this and that and the other thing.
Here's what, let me clarify something. No, we do not want to come from this list. And by worst of the worst, I mean we don't want to know what...
It's not like I have a personal vendetta against these crazy ass people.
Hold on. The people you could have visited, this is what I'm trying to get at. You could have visited Epstein Island and not have partaken in anything.
Of course.
You could have literally gone there to have a barbecue and a beer with some Hollywood celebrity friends. You enjoy a couple lines of cocaine. You have a few beers. You eat some barbecue chicken. You get the fuck back to Hollywood and you go back to your 9 to 5.
Chicken is one of their code words for underage.
Oh, God.
Barbecue? Is that a darker color?
No, it's DP.
Oh.
Barbecue, big black queers.
Well, I guess it works. But anyway.
So what we're saying is to know the list and find out who is actually guilty of illegal
everything that
action.
Yeah.
Anything that took place that was illegal.
Yeah.
And against the law. Those people, if you got the proof, should go down for it. Regardless of who it is. Tom Hanks, Jim Carrey, fucking Baba Booey.
Those are crazy.
Howard Stern. Who the fuck cares?
Those are
just
crazy. The list is fucking...
Find out who was there. Find out who did illegal things. And hold them accountable. That's all.
The actual list, not the list of people that have been there, like you said, because that list is huge, and there's a lot of fucking names on it. But just the fact that even when that list first came out, the flight log list,
yeah,
all the names that were on, I was like, oh my god, Hollywood's a fucking cesspool of child pornography. That's not the case because, like you said, a lot of those people most likely didn't do anything. Maybe I'm wrong, but most likely they didn't do anything. But the fact that throughout that list, there's sprinkled some names that did do something, it's like the lottery. It's like, well, fuck, what number's going to come up? Who did what?
And then hold them accountable. That's it.
But again, there's probably not ever going to know. And right now, I mean, I rant because I want to see exactly who, but in reality... In all actuality, it's probably for investigation reasons and legality reasons why there's not a list released to the public.
Oh, yeah, because
So-
anybody who had a child or a family member or was a
Yeah.
victim of Epstein Island,
And there's
if they
HIPAA
find
laws.
out-
So
huh?
there's HIPAA laws. You can't just
Well, it's not
release-
even so much that. Imagine the mass exodus that would happen. It'd be a purge.
Probably.
Because
Oh,
you can go find out where half these Hollywood celebrities live, and if you've got 30 fucking people and one security guard protecting Tom Hanks' villa, sorry, Tom, to keep using you as an example, but we'll use who's a dead actor that nobody liked.
a dead actor that nobody liked? I don't know. It's a dead actor nobody liked. Nobody liked him, so no one would remember if he was dead or alive.
All right, you know what? Screw it. We'll use Vince McMahon. You know, Vince McMahon's got one security guard and 20 people whose daughters were victims of Epstein Island. Find out where he lives, and they find out exactly what he did or that he might have had a part in it. You're going to find him dead the next morning
Right.
with broken bottles up his ass. Sorry, Vince McMahon. But
That's weird. That's
oh,
pretty
he was
excessive.
into, I would say he was pretty into he was into some pretty kinky shit, I heard. So really, a bottle up the butt is a bad thing.
I didn't say it was a bad thing, but boy, Vince McMahon was into. He was into some young things, and some things were probably into him too. I wouldn't be surprised. The fact that he fucking named some of his dildos after wrestlers. Like he had the.
What? I didn't know about that.
You didn't know about that?
I know he had toys, but I didn't know he named them after wrestlers.
Oh yes. Like he had one Biggie. But you know the big black wrestler there. He had like muscular one. He had one called Big E. I don't know if he had a Stone Cold or whatever. Then I'm wondering if you think he had an Andre the Giant. Like that's a turnstile. It was a 2-liter bottle.
Oh,
You want to take the Andre?
oh God.
Apparently, Diddy snitched on like 10 other rappers or some shit like that too. I saw during the whole thing. The whole thing with Diddy is like, I guess it was like a brothel.
He went to Kashi.
I guess it was like a brothel, and there was like it was like Epstein Island mixed with the Playboy Mansion kind of deal. Like that was going on, and evidently what was going on in the brothel was he would do again like what Epstein would do, get them in situations, record everything because I guess there was a shit ton of cameras all over, have everything recorded, and say, "You are recorded now. I have this dirt on you. This is what I need you to do."
Yeah.
Ken, this is all hearsay, but this is what the stories that are circulating right now widely. And that's where the whole using this woman to trade back and forth to this guy, to this guy, to this actor, to this musician, and except in this case, whereas Epstein was mostly politicians and some Hollywood people, this one is a lot of people in the music industry and some Hollywood people.
Yeah.
And I think there was actually some political leaders there too. Because Combs worth what, $7 billion or whatever the fuck it is. That's what was going on with Combs. But now, like I said, evidently he snitched on like 10 people. But that's one of those like, listen, this will again. That's when I say nothing will happen is because stuff like this happens. Listen, I'll play ball if you just let me sign a couple autographs and be done with it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was a big Puff Daddy fan too.
I didn't really care about.
I like hip hop. I like rap music. I love R&B. I love all that stuff. And P Diddy was always, he was notorious for putting out, producing, and discovering some of the best talent out there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna go Tekashi on it, then I've got no respect for you, and I'll have no interest in what you do moving forward. And if you know, Tekashi 6ix9ine, that fucking rat's still alive.
See, all the allegations against Sean Diddy Combs, lawsuits against the rapper began on 16th November 2023 when he was sued by singer and dancer Cassie, his former partner who alleged 10 years of abuse. It was filed under the New York Adult Supervisors Act or Survivors Act. Just before it expired, this act offered a 1-year window for adult victims of sexual assault to come forward in civil claims against the statute of limitations. Cassandra Cassie Ventura, R&B singer.
Jesse's daughter?
Yeah, singer Cassie, whose full name is Cassandra Ventura, filed a lawsuit in 2023 alleging that she was trafficked, raped, and beaten by Combs on many occasions over 10 years. Her lawsuit claimed that Combs brought the singer into his ostentatious, fast-paced, and drug-fueled lifestyle not long before she met him and signed her to his label in 2005 when she was just 19 and he was 37. Miss Ventura said the pattern of abuse began as soon as their relationship started, and that as she was trying to end it in 2018, he was forced himself into his LA home where he raped her. The lawsuit against Combs was settled on a day after she filed it for an undisclosed amount of money. Miss Ventura told CNN she had chosen to resolve this matter, and Mac... no admission doing it wrong. This is the same. This is the same thing that happened to Vince McMahon. The same thing. Someone goes like, "Well, we'll just solve this out of court." And what happens with this shit is, we'll solve this out of court. We'll give you money, hush money. You have to sign a
NDA.
Yeah, an NDA. Not say anything, and then I'll just say it's just because I don't want to deal with legal fees. That's essentially the same exact thing that happened here.
No, but that's the thing, like...
Rodney Jones, another one. Go ahead.
My thing is, if they've got so much evidence against a person that they're guaranteed the win, why settle?
That's just it. Is why
I'm not trying to say she's full of shit or he's full of shit.
Now we sound like victim blamers.
Or she's guilty. The fact of the matter is, if you got a smoking gun in your hand and you've got you made that you took the shot and you're guaranteed the kill, why not go for it?
Yeah,
if you're seeking justice, and the only thing, and this is where it gets very kind of in the gray area for me, where I really cross the line with some people, and may even cross the line with you. I'm being dead honest. My fucking problem is, people sit there and this destroyed my life. The sexual abuse, the aggression, the rape, the beatings, everything. I'll never live a normal life. The day-to-day life, the waking up is a struggle for me. All I want is to see him brought to justice. Here's $90 million. Okay, I can sleep better at night.
Yeah, and I agree.
Come on, seriously?
I agree with you. And I would say my initial argument would be like, well, they don't want their name to be out in public, so let's say, okay, we'll just settle this. You'll have to pay a lump sum. I don't want this to go public. But the problem is most of the fucking cases we've talked about in this Vince McMahon's
are
case,
public.
Yeah, you already know their name.
Yep.
But with what's her face in Vince McMahon's, where this whole thing comes from, that one isn't resolved. That's like just going, getting started. So that might be one of the instances where, McMahon has the smoking gun, and she's like, right there, I told you, there is no settlement here. Hopefully that happens. Because if it doesn't, like you said, she's going to just take the money and run. Yeah,
because at that point...
well, then...
At that point, you literally paint the picture. It can go one of two ways. Either, they're innocent and you were a gold digger trying to get some money. Or, all right, you know what?
I don't think...
Maybe it wasn't that bad and they just want this to be done and over with, so they agreed on this. Everybody's happy at the end of the day. I'm not going to watch wrestling anymore, but if this chick cries wolf with another $1 billion person, I'm really not going to think it's anything serious.
For McMahon, I don't think it's this chick's a gold digger and was trying... I think that one's pretty clear. I know what you're talking about. Just
any story in general.
I'm just saying, in that case, I don't think that was, because McMahon's a fucking loon. But Sean Combs... I don't know much. Like, I didn't follow him. I don't really care about Pete Diddler. But So that could very well be the case here.
Well, as is the case with every rap star, every hip hop, R&B, soul, pop, punk, jazz, anything to do with the world of, especially the more urban street style music, the fact of the matter is you're always going to have allegations.
Mm.
You don't hear about like Marilyn Manson getting banged by like Jonathan Davis. You know,
but he probably did that on stage as a gig.
No, what I'm saying is like, you heard about the Will Smith thing?
Which one? Yes.
Okay. You know, there's the stories of rap artists doing
I opened the door. Shut the door.
There's stories of rap artists like sleeping with dudes and doing this and doing that. Then there's
It's a weird fucking place.
There's stories about like doing drugs, gangster shit, all kinds of stuff.
I guess so. Gangster Paradise.
Well, you know,
been spending most of my life. Sorry.
wait, which one are you saying? The problem is my brain goes on two separate tracks and starts playing both. It's very conflicting. I hate it.
Yeah, but anyway,
saying prayers in the street light.
Rodney
Homies
Jones,
wanna be like me on my nights.
Lil Rod. He's
Little
another one.
omelets.
He's another one that filed on the 26th of February of this year in New York. Said alleged that he was subjected to unwanted advances by associates of Diddy in his direction, and that he was forced to engage in relationships with the sex workers Combs had hired. He's forcing me to do this to you. I don't want to do that. Hey, fine, have your way with me. Hey, where are you going? That's what that sounds like.
Like I said,
Lil Rod. That's his name. I'm Lil Rod. Okay.
because I got a little rod.
Joey. Wait a minute. Hold the fuck on a minute. What's the first one's name?
But you see what I'm saying?
Wait, no. Wait, what's the first one's name? Cassie Ventura. Okay, I have nothing for that. But the last two, Lil Rod, and then the next allegation here is Joy Dickerson. Neil. Dickerson filed a lawsuit.
Dick her son.
Filed a lawsuit
No.
alleging that Combs drugged her, sexually assaulted her, and secretly recording the assault while she was a college student in 91.
Okay, so where's the video?
For research purposes, of course.
No, I don't want to see it. Show it to the judge as evidence.
Right.
Put Sean Diddy Combs in jail for life. Problem solved.
She claimed
You shouldn't have to worry about that $90 million he wants to give you.
But it's 90. She claimed that Combs pushed her to go to a dinner with him, and she agreed reluctantly on the 3rd of January 91, which is when she alleges she was
7.
drugged, resulting in her being fisted? Resulting in her being physically in a physical state where she could not independently stand or walk. Well, she couldn't independently stand or walk, so she might have been fisted. The BBC reported. The suit also claims he recorded the assault and showed it to other people on the hub.
You gotta know.
Thus, the hub was born.
You gotta know. Hold on. Britain, come on. Can you guys like rename it, please?
Well,
we got 2 BBCs over here, and not in the good way. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. I meant the TV and the fucking hub version.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Shut up.
She later filed police reports in New York and New Jersey, spoke to prosecutors, but she was told by colleagues that were terrified that Combs would retaliate against them and they would lose future business and music opportunities if they made a statement in support of her. NBC News reported, citing the lawsuit. More women come forward. Anonymous. Yeah, then they have anonymous plaintiff, unnamed accuser, Jane Doe. Combs responds to allegations. Yeah.
Now let me ask you something. With all this shit, is it really... I guess that would be up for the courts to decide. The jury. I mean, come on. Let's be honest. I'm not saying... Stinkface Ashley. Remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, that was a moment of... During something you guys were doing, it kind of...
Go ahead. Share the story.
That wasn't my dick. It was yours. You tell them. Why do I gotta tell your dick stories?
No, I did.
Long story short,
What's the
the point I'm making is, in 5 years, let's say a cop shows up at your door. You were accused of forced sodomy, attempted forced sodomy. And now you're getting drugged through court. Your name's getting drugged through the mud.
Isn't that wild that can fucking happen?
Yes. That's what I'm getting at.
Right.
Is it one disgruntled chick who got mad and because Sean wouldn't have a relationship with her or buy her all the lavishly things, or did he actually sexually assault her and traffic her? This is why we need cameras in courts.
If it was just... Here's the problem. If it was... Yeah, but here it goes with the Me Too movement, and this is the problem with the Me Too movement. Yeah, you're doing that? You can get what? Me Too.
Me Too movement.
Yeah. Like, the idea of the whole Me Too thing is great, but the fact is not everyone's honest on either end of the coin. So, you might get one person to be like, in a sea of bullshit, be like, I was assaulted. Like, get back in line, wait your turn, I want my cash first. And that could very well happen.
Yes.
Me too.
I hope nobody comes back with me in charges. He kept crying after the little bitch. Fuck you! See? That's why I didn't want to sleep with him. All he does is whine and cry after.
There was the boat crashing.
Oh, God, the Frank Scott Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland. Yep. A lot of inconsistencies with that story.
Initially, I was like, okay. Well, first, right off the bat, everyone's like, terrorist attack. I'm like, maybe. And then I started hearing, like, everything that was going on. I'm like, well, there's a lot. Like, there's a one I heard an engineer talking about who worked on, I guess, the sister ship to the, was it the not the Dale. Was it the Dale?
I don't know the names of these ships.
I can't remember. It was a sister ship to the one that, the cargo ship that hit the bridge.
Yeah.
And he says what happened is, that ship was a foreign ship. It was flagged as a foreign ship in the port. And the way it works is, as long as a ship like that ports in one place in the United States and then doesn't port in another harbor in the United States, it doesn't have to, I guess, register with, follow the same guidelines that the Port Authority has and the United States government as far as regulations for the ship, the safety of the ship, the maintenance, and all your regular things that you know a boat would have to go by, or any aircraft or anything like that.
Follow
so they don't have
American guidelines.
They don't have to follow that. So this engineer said the way these ships operate is they operate, one, on a shoestring budget. What some of the news outlets were saying initially, and I don't know if they still are, but they were saying initially, it's like the crew of these ships are the top of line best, and this guy's engineer that works on these ships is like, not all of them. It's like they operate at a shoestring budget. They operate a shoestring training, basically, and their maintenance is the same idea too. It's like not top quality maintenance. They just get them ready to go.
Yeah.
So when a ship like that backs up and it goes out, like the power obviously went out. So he says like the way these ships operate is there's like 4 or 6 or 8 engines they use to start the main engine. So when a ship goes down like that and it goes, like, the power is all lost and the engines are shut down, now they have to reboot the whole system in order to start the main system, which isn't just like turning your key in a truck, obviously. And it loses power. Power comes back on, and then loses power again, and by then, it's already in basically a path of destruction to the bridge. Now, a lot of people are saying it's like, yeah, but you just kept seeing it back up into the bridge. There's another guy that crunches these numbers, I guess, all the time. He looked at the time of day. It was like 1:27 or 1:28 in the morning that this happened. The tidal currents, especially in the harbor, the fact that it was near a full moon, so the tidal currents would be stronger, and the way it was backing up and the tide coming into the harbor would have pushed the boat exactly in the direction it went. So when the ship lost power, like he said, well, it all checks out and be, that's what happened. Like the ship got pushed into the bridge. Fine. So my initial response was, okay, it was just a freak thing. It was like one of the perfect storm of events, and it ran into the bridge. But then, like, the thing I question is like, well, but usually when these ships get brought out, they have tugboats alongside of them actually pulling them out. And this one didn't. Outside of that, like, the bridge didn't, maybe it did, but it didn't look like it had barriers alongside the bridge to actually protect it for things like this happening. And then I guess the ship was traveling at 8 miles an hour.
8 knots, which is faster.
Way faster than it's usually at like 1.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case, that's odd too. But then the internet gets a hold of it, and they start running with it too. And someone pointed out, well, when the ship hits at the exact same time, there's explosions up on like one of the support beams of the bridge, and that's where one part breaks when it hits. And I'm like, well, and you watch the video, and it's like, yeah, there are. And like, I've got nothing for that. Like, I can't explain that one.
Well,
weird. Maybe there's an explanation, but I don't know.
I've heard some, because of course, especially in the trucking world, I've heard a lot of drivers talking about a lot of, like, someone was saying, like, a lot of these ships, they have fail-safes, like alternate power supplies.
Right.
In case, because there are 4 or 5 or 6 engines that start the small engines that start the bigger engine.
Right.
And because they're so hard to restart, you have the whole reboot system, there is fail-safe measures. I heard one driver talking about that, where they're technically the amount of time on, couple seconds, power
Time was longer.
there's nothing. They're saying that with these fail-safes, because they're so hard to restart these boats,
Right.
because there's so much work that goes into them, that's impossible. That's a physical impossibility. The way the engineering is set up, there's no way, because if that happens while they're in the dead smack center of the ocean, and they've got no power whatsoever, how do they get coding out? How do they get messaging out? SOS.
Right.
There's no way. These ships are not meant to go without power unless they are turned off.
Right.
So there's that. They were talking. One driver was talking about like the ship's captain was recounting the steps and the measures that were going on, and what happened, and when they lost power, what they were trying to do.
Who is Ukrainian, by the way?
Yeah.
That was
They apparently they were talking about the maneuvering they were trying to do, drop the anchor to swing the boat around so they wouldn't hit the bridge.
that was another thing too with the anchor.
But the way that he describes it, like, I guess there was a Reddit thread going on that the driver was talking about. He's like, I was reading the comments. It was crazy. All these ship captains for, like, the Navy, blah, blah, blah. Ship captains. They're like, that's physically impossible. If he was a captain of so many years, he should have known that wouldn't have happened, that this is what would have happened, and this is what would have been the result. He would have hit the bridge. This was all intentional.
Well, again, and then the engineer was talking, and he's like, because that was another thing that was my initial response. Like, when you see the power goes out and all of a sudden you start to turn, the ship starts to turn. I'm like, well, maybe that was like them dropping the anchors and it just hits the ground and just because of the current.
Hook turns.
Yeah, that turns the ship. But then this engineer was like, you drop those anchors, they're meant to hook on something or bury themselves. But he goes, dropping an anchor at a ship that weighs 80,000 tons is like dropping a shoelace to stop a bus. Like, that's
it's
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you ever seen the size of those ships?
And the size of those anchors?
Like, you see the bridge, and I don't think you really understand how big that bridge is, because I've been across that bridge before. Mm-hmm. You see that bridge, you see the ships, like, oh, it's a big ship. But if you actually see the bridge and then look at the ship, it's like comparing the Titanic. You see a picture of the Titanic next to a ship like that. It's like taking like a Tonka truck and putting it in front of an actual like car.
Oh yeah,
I mean they're fucking huge. They're huge.
I think it was like 900 feet, 1,000 feet long.
Yeah, I think it's like 3 football fields.
Yeah,
they're about 3 football fields.
That's big.
A little bit. Yeah,
and about 2 football fields wide too, right?
They're big. Yeah.
Not 100 yards. I mean, like if you look at a football field and put 2 side by side, that's about how wide the ship is.
Yeah. You imagine it's just a fucking giant saucer.
It's a giant sausage.
Yeah.
In the ocean.
Cookie sheet out there. What's wild, too, is the federal government is giving $60 million as a down payment to clean up the rebuilding of the bridge. And they're just doing it. They're like, no, we'll pay for it. And there's a whole bunch of people, including myself, are like, shouldn't we investigate the company, like the owners?
And make them pay?
Yeah. And here's the thing, is a lot of people are like, well, it's a foreign company, so we don't want to go through the whole long litigation. There's a guy that I watch all the time who looked into who actually owns, they looked at the ship, they looked at the model number of the ship, and they looked at who owned that ship, and they brought up that company, and they went to the company's website, and you could do simple searching for this, and they went to the company's website, and they found, okay, this is the company. Who owns major stock in this company? They found the company that owns major stock in that company, so they went to that company, and they found out that all the people that own that company that owns the ship are that's a fucking U.S. company. So they all own, so you could easily just investigate. It's like, how come these funding here is not like, why isn't this met up to standards? If it was really a power loss, like they said, and just faulty mechanics, shouldn't you hold the company responsible for what had happened and make them pay for the damages? No, the government foreboned all that and went, we'll take care of it. We'll foot the bill. So in other words, taxpayers are filling.
Yep.
Fuck, we fucked up. Don't worry, you'll pay for it.
No, I heard something. I don't know how true it is. I'll have to look into it and find out for sure. Apparently, there's a liability act of like 1857.
Okay.
Something having to do with that gets this boat out of trouble. Let me see if I can. You gonna look up the liability act?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna see what I can find too. I'm not sure.
1957.
1957. That's it. Sorry. 1857.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
What is liability? Where persons entered or use or sending goods to any premises and exercise a right conferred by contract with a person occupying or having control of the premises, the duty he owes them in respect of dangers due to the state of the premises or to things done or omitted to be done on them, insofar as... All right, this is way too long. I have to look up the entire fucking thing.
I stroked off by like the 3rd word. Big words. Not good brain. Brain not like big words.
Sorry, people. Let's find...
Can you find the Cliff Notes version?
Okay. Okay, let's see here. Oh, geez. No, that ain't gonna work either.
You don't want air, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What liability do I have towards other people? Like, no, I'm gonna have to download the whole fucking thing and look at it section by section. 10 things you need to know about the Liability Act. Let's see this. Why are you gonna fucking download this too? Whatever, just open it. Just fucking open it. Just do it. Get it over with. Oh my God.
That's what P. Diddy said.
That's right.
Just do it. Get it over with.
Once. Statutory framework refers to the duty owned by landowners to persons who come onto their land. The duty also extends to where the landowner has transferred the duty to another. For example, a person running a fast food franchise. Hence, the term used is occupier rather than landowner. A physical presence is not necessary as the occupier. This is going to take fucking forever to go through this.
We'll do the research and we'll update.
Yeah, because I'm going to have to go through fucking page by page in order to do this. So yeah, I didn't know anything about any. I'll just keep that open.
Yeah, so I guess that is what's going to save the company from being held responsible. The ship's captain or the ship's engineer, whatever it is, they are supposed to be held responsible.
Mm-hmm.
Which, this poor Ukrainian guy, he's gonna get taken to the fucking cleaners.
One of the things that was floating around real quick was a cyber attack. So everyone's like, oh, it was a terrorism attack. It's like, I don't think about terrorism attack. Like, I think when everyone thinks terrorism now, they think 9/11. Like, people hijacking something and ramming into something. Yeah. But, like, now, that was fucking 23 years ago. That was a while ago. Now I think terrorism is going to be a cyber attack. It's going to be someone sitting at home on a fucking computer and be like, off, on, no, off. Yeah. Like, that's what that's going to be now. I'm like, well, maybe. In this day and age, maybe. I mean, how many times have our banks and everything else been fucking hit with cyber attacks, especially in the last year?
Oh, God.
Like, it happens often. And what? Johnny Boy just said, like, shit got hacked in whatever game. Like, the fucking...
Apex.
Yeah, it's every other day thing now. I don't know what even that is all about. I didn't hear anything about that, but... Like, the cyber attack bullshit, that fucking happens on the daily. So, when that was brought up, I'm like, could be. Maybe. I don't know. But, yeah. So, the bridge hits, and everything's crashing down around whatever.
Fuck them.
Trying to decide whether I want to jump on Helldivers or not.
Yeah, me too. I plan to, but...
I'm not dead tired tonight, so...
Yeah, me neither.
I had a fucking weird-ass dream last night, though. Alright, so I don't remember most of my dreams. Last night, though, and even she was like, you were breathing really fucking weird last night. I'm like, I woke up, I told her, I go, she goes, were you dreaming last night? I was fucking off the wall. I was like... It was scary as shit. Like, yeah, it was a demonic possession thing, and the only way I could describe it is if you took the first Conjuring movie, and just dialed it up. It was fucking wild. And I'm like, I can't remember all the details. I remember being in the dream, being like, I have to challenge this. I don't know why. And I was fucking terrified, but I had to meet it head on. So I did. And then I just felt like a shoulder on my hand. I woke up and he was like rubbing my, like, oh, and I just rolled over. I'm like, even in my half awake state, I'm like, what the fuck was that? I'm like, what the hell?
God.
What the fuck were we talking about last week that we got into this whole, like, conversation of like, damn, I wish that was on camera. I don't even remember what the fuck we brought up. Oh, the people reading shit and inner monologue. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
There was a thing going around about how 74% of people. Yes, like 74% of people out there don't have an inner monologue. And I just looked at that. I'm like, how is that possible? How is it possible that people don't have like an inner conversation with themselves? Like, with like a voice and beyond that, actual visual interpretation of things. Like when you read a book, you play it out like a movie in your head. And I'm like, this can't be right. Until last week, I saw a video of a guy who has inner monologue talking to someone, trying to explain and learn how you don't, but explain what he was talking about when he says he has inner monologue. And this woman who does not have one, her descriptions of reading a book were fucking like off the wall. I'm like, wait a minute. So he says, okay, so if you read it like a sentence, how do you interpret that sentence? Whereas he would read something like, what was the example last week?
We were talking about like apple on a table.
Yeah, we were talking about an apple on a table. So if you read a sentence like there was the apple sitting on the table, what would you like? How would you interpret that? And for me and you, we would see like clearly an apple. Like,
I described the whole scene, like kitchen counter.
Yeah, the whole
fucking
shebang.
knife beside it, ready to peel it. It's a summer day, the apple's glistening.
Right. But this woman, she says, well, what I do is I see the structure of words like in the sentence and just kind of, and there's not even like a symbolic anything. It's just the word structure. And she goes, I pick words out of that I understand and kind of formulate the idea. I can't even say formulate the idea. Like, I don't even understand how you explain the process of not being able to have a visual in your head about it. But she was explaining what she did. I'm like, it was very, I guess the best way to describe it is a secretary from the 1950s. It was very bland and mundane. I'm like, how do you function like that? It was just bizarre to me. So we got talking about that last week.
Yep.
How's that fucking work?
I don't know. I know I have dreams, but I can't remember them. And
I normally can't either.
I think that's a good thing.
It is, because I get like good night's sleeps every now and again, and most of the time they're just like, I'll wake up and be like, that was odd. But last night was fucking like bizarre. That was like balls deep, like and I woke up like, that was terrifying.
I don't know. I remember I could sort of. You ever have one of those where it's like a dream that just never leaves? Like you can remember it 10 years.
Those are called nightmares.
I've had a nightmare for the last 20 years. Love you. No, but like I was saying, like it's been so long since I've had a dream, but I remember like some of them where it's like, it's one of those where I wake up and I have more questions about myself than actually what I dreamt of.
Just quiet, having a coffee, just staring at.
Yeah, for the most part, that's what usually happens. I'm either driving to work. It's like
music off.
You want to talk about what we dreamt about? Nope, not really. You sure? I mean, if you did some things, I really don't want to talk about it.
Was it you that said, like, when I said all right, I had one night terror fucking years ago at this point, and it was the most fucking surreal thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Sleep paralysis?
Or, yeah, not night terror, sleep paralysis.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah, that's like monthly.
Yeah. Still happens to me.
And that was one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's a regular thing. And another instance where I'm like, no, it's fucking not.
Yeah, I remember.
You're fucking crazy.
I remember that because I'm like sitting there, you're describing it, I go, that sounds like sleep paralysis.
Yeah, and I knew what it was right off the bat, but fucking, all right, so, long story short, I'm in bed. My significant other at the time was, okay, I'm laying down, she would have been at the right of me.
Sorry about yours.
I'm laying down on I sleep on my back, and I come to, and I'm awake, like my eyes are awake, but my body can't move. Mm-hmm. And I hear right in my ear on my left side, which is right at the edge of the bed, someone say my name. I can't fucking move. And at that point, I'm like, and I break out of it. I was only in it for like 3, maybe 4 seconds. Just like that. So I'm like, that was fucking bizarre.
I'm like seeing it for like 15, 20 fucking minutes.
He's like, He's
Like
like
3, 4, 5 minutes tops.
yeah, he's like, oh yeah, it happens to me like once a month. I just got to focus on a body part or something, get it to move. And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? It's like, that's a regular thing. Like, no, it's fucking not. Like, oh, I lost all control of my body. Oh.
No.
Okay, Biden.
I remember when I was...
That's it. Joe Biden's just in a perpetual state of fucking sleep paralysis. He's just walking around.
When it first... Okay, you really want to go down... Whatever. You really want to go down this rabbit hole. The earliest memories I have of dealing with it was when I was a kid.
That wasn't sleep paralysis. You were just beaten and unconscious.
No, I remember. It's why the Poltergeist always kind of fucking rang with me. Like it was always one of those like,
I filmed on a set of dead bodies and.
Well, no, because the white noise.
Right.
The white noise is what at first, my earliest memories. You remember some of those TV channels we watched. Thank you for this. Concludes our night podcast. See you tomorrow.
I don't know why I started to hum the British national.
Yeah. But you know what I'm talking about. Like some channels when we were kids growing up still ended their daily broadcast.
It was like 2 or 3 in the morning.
And there was white noise. When the earliest memories I have of dealing with it as a child, I would I'd hear it. Mm-hmm. I'd see the TV. I could literally I would hyper focus on it, and it would bring me out of it. Eventually, I'd be like, "Okay, I can move," and it would be about 3 to 5 minutes. 3 to 5 minute process.
That's interesting.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, and that's why, like I said, it still happens on occasion. But I can tell you. That's why, like I've said, I'll be sitting there, coffee cup on the way to work. Want to talk about that dream? Nope, not really. We did some things. Yeah, shut the fuck up, please.
Your sleep paralysis is weird.
That's why some of those dreams, it's like the ones that really resonate. It's like, got more questions about me than what I dreamt about. You realize what we did in that dream? Yeah, I know. That means we came up with the idea. No, because usually what I have to tell myself is, you do realize that was a manifestation of a thought process or a logicy in your mind. Yeah? You do realize that, shut the fuck up.
You know what that boils down to?
What?
Can't catch me, gay thoughts.
It's not gay thoughts.